Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn and never die. Looking through the eyes of a brand new life. And so just find me, just find me. Sparks will fly if we scream no. This is not how we're gonna go. We are the ones who'll never let go. Just watch us roll till we're no one knows. We'll never grow.
Formula 1 returns to Bahrain for the third round of the 2017 season. However, unlike many previous years, where the teams wait to Spain in the first round of the European season to bring their first major upgrade packages, many of the midfield teams chose to bring their first major upgrade packages for this race meeting. Milk and Honda bring their first upgraded power unit of the season in hopes of closing the power gap to Cosworth, as McLaren once again look to try and claw their way back up towards the midfield. Toyota bring a new front wing for this race meeting, however only for Lewis Hamilton's car, and if the upgrades prove successful, then the upgrades will be on Esteban Ocon's car for the next race. Williams bring a new chassis upgrades, as they feel that's where they are most lacking compared to the other teams around them, mainly compared to Toyota and to Red Bull. Speaking of Red Bull, Cosworth bring their first power unit upgrade for this race meeting in the hopes to close the power gap to AMG, Ferrari and BMW. Taking a look at the qualifying grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and once again it'll be Fernando Alonso taking another pole position, and once again Sebastian Vettel will line up alongside the two-time world champion. Once again it's the second row occupied by Pascal Wehrlein in third, with Jean-Eric Verne having to settle for fourth. It'll be an all Red Bull row 3 despite the power unit upgrades, with Daniel Kvyat starting in 5th and teammate Max Verstappen starting in 6th. Sebastian Buemi will line up lead of the Williams in 7th, with Lewis Hamilton in his upgraded Toyota starting from 8th. It'll be an all BMW powered row 5, with defending world champion Josh Chiro lining up in 9th, with Robbie Kubica in the Haas in 10th. His teammate Lance Stroll will start from 11th, with Nico Hülkenberg the lead of the Renaults in 12th. Esteban Ocon in his unupgraded Toyota only managed 13th on the grid, with Carlos Sainz in 14th getting the better of his teammate Gasly. Danny Ricciardo could only manage 16th on the grid, once again Rio Haryanto getting the better of his teammates lined up in 17th, with Jordan in 18th, and once again the two Saubers round off the back row of the grid. Hey guys, Taro here. Welcome back to UniONE. This time round 3 for season 4, the Bahrain Grand Prix. If you did miss the race last time out, the Chinese Grand Prix, definitely do go and check that out. There's some pretty potentially major championship deciding drama, honestly. If it works out that way, that race could have been crucial come the end of the season. Now looking to this race, we've definitely got a lot of work to do starting from P9. You've seen in the previous few seasons that Bahrain has actually been a pretty good track for us. And Fernando Alonso there starting in pole position can actually convert a pole into a victory for the first time this season. Starting on pole in every race so far, still yet to actually win a race. What about Pierre Gasly? I mean, Gasly hasn't had the best start to the season, a DNF in Australia, and then finishing last with front wing damage at the previous race. So could this race can he finally effectively get his championship started? Okay, back into us, starting in P9, behind Hamilton there in his upgraded Toyota, and just in front there Robbie Kubica in the Haas. So we know how similar the Haas and Williams are in terms of, well, the looks. I mean, the cars are technically very different, but on the looks they look pretty much the same. Now coming to the 5 red lights for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. It looks like Hamilton actually looks like he jumped the start kind of there. Well, we just got really bad start, but now going side by side now with Lewis Hamilton now coming down into turn one. We're actually being sandwiched between the Haas as well. Now we have to break there. Hamilton goes for a dive up the inside there. Oh, we're taking this past UniONE. He's going to side by side between them two. Now we can try to hold off there for one of the Haas's, which I think may still be QS. And they've got the corner completely there to keep side by side with us. And then they've to place them us there with the corner cut. Now they're getting a good solution there off the back now. Sebastian BUEMI now trying to pull back to the inside now of the Haas. Coming up now into territory, trying to move the side. We keep it side by side there with the Haas. The Haas there on the racing line. We try and hold it up the inside. It's going to be side by side now on corner exit. The Haas can have the better racing line. Now we have to back off there. Just have to back off there and let the Haas go in front of us. But surely they took that position really. There's actually Lance Stroll in front of us there. So Stroll with a good start there to get ahead of Kubica on the run down into turn one, but then just completely corner cut turn two to take the position from us. So surely Stroll has to give us that position, but it doesn't look like he's going to at the minute. You can see the other side BUEMI just held off from Lewis Hamilton, I think. So far we see there, Stroll getting a pretty decent exit there onto this. Well, this will be the second DRS straight come lap 3, but it will be the first opportunity that we have. So this straight there and the start finish straight is the 2 DRS zones. Still, he's trying to get ahead there of Lance Stroll because it doesn't look like he's going to give us a position. We've seen, honestly, this is like the third or fourth time we've now had problems with Lance Stroll being in front of us. I mean, fair play to me if he took the position from us legitimately, which he didn't. So, and see there in straight line speed, this is the problem with supplying other cars with the exact same engine as yourself, because there's just nothing you can do about them really in a straight line. Of course, because the Haas probably hasn't got as much downforce, so it's lower drag, so in a straight line it will be going faster than our Williams. And now I've seen with this pure slipstream, of course no DRS yet till lap 3, just coming in the slipstream, not really gaining all that much there on the back of Lance Stroll coming down into turn 1. I don't think I actually mentioned it, they get very close there under braking. We're just not quite close enough there to make the move on Lance Stroll, so we have to stay behind the young Canadian for a bit longer. But really, we do need to make a move on. You see, he's always slightly starting to fall away from the back there of Lewis Hamilton and our teammate Sebastian BUEMI in front. The thing is, with the dirty air, there's not really much we can do. It's actually Stroll there locks up, which is unfortunately they were not able to capitalise on that. As now Sainz makes a move there past Kubica to move up into P11, as we actually go purple there through the first sector, but it is only the second lap, so everyone will be going purple there through the first sector, even the McLarens and the Saubers at the back. I'm saying now coming up into the second sector, hopefully we can keep quite a bit closer to Lance Stroll this time, because that's definitely what we need to do to try and make a move on him. They're gaining a lot under braking. Think about making a move there up the inside. We just weren't close enough there to make anything of it. So if we were closer, then potentially we could have gone for a dive there up the inside. Once again, getting in the solution, actually starting to reel in Lance Stroll there on the back down the straight, because it's like Hamilton there in front is now pulling away there from Lance Stroll, so Stroll will be getting less of a slipstream there off the back of Lewis Hamilton. Is he gaining through this S section now to where we, in the past few years, remember back in our Lotus and back in our Lotus days, until we got taken out by Verne, we gained a lot of time there through that S section on the other midfield teams on the Force Indias at the time. Now getting right in station now on the back there of Lance Stroll. We're going to make a move to the inside there of Lance Stroll, coming up now into the final corner. Keep it side by side there with Lance Stroll. Make the move to the inside. Thankfully Stroll doesn't put up a fight there, hold it around the outside. That just cost us both a lot more time there. And now we can try and chase down the team of Sebastian BUEMI. Now actually Lewis Hamilton now getting on the back there of one of the Rebels. They can make a move to the inside of the Rebel, coming down into tailmark, and Hamilton made a move there on the inside. That's going to dive it on the inside there of the Rebel. But still the Rebels can try and fight it back now. Keep it side by side there with Lewis Hamilton. And this will be side by side now through turn 2. Rebel gets squeezed on the apex there. Hamilton there with the momentum. Can he try and make the move there on the Rebel? Has he made the move stick there on the Rebel? Looks like he has. And Hamilton there moves ahead there of one of the Rebels. So Toyota's upgrades really are working well, but albeit thanks mainly to the AMG engine there in the back of that Toyota, powering it past the Cosworth powered Red Bull. But still, Hamilton there outright making a move on the back on one of the Red Bulls. So fair play to Hamilton. He's really found some good pace, a good rhythm so far. But a bit of a lock up there from Hamilton now. It's cost him quite a bit of time there. But still now the Red Bull can try and possibly fight back now with the DRS Shapers. Now they've got to watch from BUEMI as well, and then ourselves. Possibly even Carlos Sainz now gets ahead there of Lance Stroll, because Sainz really finding some good pace so far at the start of this race. But now BUEMI getting in slow shooting with DRS on the back of the Red Bull, but of course that Red Bull will still have DRS off the back there of Hamilton. So I don't know exactly which Red Bull that is, but now can Hamilton try and chase down after the lead of the Red Bulls now being clean air, if he can just pull away now from the Red Bull they've managed to make the move on down the last straight. But now we're getting round the back there of Sebastian BUEMI, because BUEMI of course is getting held up as well behind the back of this Red Bull. But now coming down into the final corner, is BUEMI close enough to try and make a move on the inside? We take a move there to the inside, just filling up BUEMI's mirror, so BUEMI's got to attack the Red Bull whilst also trying to defend from us. But now with DRS and slipstream, it's going to be Cosworth power v BMW power, and it should be fine though. We easily win now. BUEMI moves to the inside there of the Red Bull coming down into turn 1. It can be drag race now, top line, we're in a double slipstream. Now we're going to make it 3 wide coming down into turn 1 momentarily, and we both managed to clear the Red Bull. Now we can try and dive it up the inside there of Sebastian Buemi, but he's going to try and do it right around the side. He just squeezes us there to the apex, and they keep it side by side. And he managed to make the move on us just to keep in front of us there, but we both managed to make the move there on the Red Bull. So now can we try and chase down Sebastian Buemi getting in the station? We're going to pull to the inside now, Sebastian Buemi coming up now into turn 3. Buemi, the slight luck of keeping it side by side with us, Buemi on the racing line, so he'll have the better traction. And Buemi just manages there to keep it in front of us. We're so close there. And once again, this is another very, very tense and close bit of action there for Frank Williams. So probably biting his nails back on the pit wall, well, in the garage. Imagine if we go back to last season, how close me and Buemi got in quite a few of the races. Imagine he hasn't really got any nails left at this point. But now we have DRS now on Sebastian Buemi now to try and make a move on our teammate coming down now at the end of the straight, because Buemi there once again just getting a bit of a better exit there out of the corner. Go to the straight, so we are gaining of course with the DRS, so that straight just isn't long enough for us to make a move. It's actually Daniel Kvyat as well, just noticed has the Red Bull behind us, so Kvyat. So it's been pretty mixed so far between Verstappen and Kvyat on fortune so far. I mean, remember Verstappen having that nightmare race last time in the first race at Australia, then Kvyat taking a podium last time out. Looks like he may have some car issues to deal with in this race, but now we're getting in station now on the back of Sebastian Buemi. Going to make a move coming into the final corner, keep it side by side with Buemi as Verne sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix once again. Verne just dominating the early point of this season, but hopefully Verne for the championship, hopefully Verne isn't leading the race. But now we'll have DRS now on the back of Sebastian Buemi. Now going to make a move to the inside there, Sebastian Buemi. That's going to be side by side, knocking down turn 1. Buemi tucks into our slipstream there to settle in behind us. But so now Buemi thankfully doesn't try and make a dive back up our inside. So now we've managed to make the move down Buemi, because now Buemi will have the slipstream now on the way up now into turn 3. And hopefully we don't do a Button Perez move on our teammate inside Buemi there. We'll be getting such, but is he gaining enough coming up into turn 3? Looks like no, he isn't. So now that we're free, Sebastian Buemi can we try and chase down Lewis Hamilton. Of course, those upgrades on the Toyota really do look to be working well there for the 2008 World Champion. Hopefully with our superior engine power will be enough to help us catch onto the back there of the Toyota. Now cutting onto lap 7 now, we actually managed to catch up to Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, now it's time for us to come in for our first stop of the race. I think we're going into a set of the soft tyres. Looks like Hamilton in front of us is coming there as well. Looks like one of the Ferraris possibly just up there in front came in for their first stop as well. So now hopefully we can try and get some sort of amazing pit stop there to jump Hamilton. So we're going to another set there of the super soft tyres. It looks like Hamilton there's possibly coming in front of us, and see that Hamilton has come out in front of us there. It looks like we have gained a bit of time there on the Toyota, so that's pretty much telling me that Toyota have a whole new pit crew for this season. Because the Williams pit crew have been quite amazing. There's Hamilton coming in page just behind one of the McLarens there, and that can be crucial. So Hamilton's poor pit stop there is actually effectively putting behind that McLaren. And now as we come out there in P14, we've got Sebastian Buemi on medium tyres behind us. So Buemi obviously has already stopped in this race, stopped 1 lap earlier, then that's going to a set of medium tyres. So Buemi looking to go long on this second stint. Well, we're going aggressive and making a pit stop a lot earlier than a teammate for this second stint. But now Hamilton caught up right on the back there now of that McLaren. Can't quite see which McLaren that was. So I'm going to get very close there to the back of Hamilton, just avoid smashing into the back there of the Toyota. Hamilton getting a lot early on the brakes there than what I was anticipating he would. But now Hamilton will have DRS on the back there of that McLaren coming down the straight. It's actually a bit of a lock-up there from the McLaren, which is not going to do their momentum any favours, or their tyres any favours really. But now Hamilton with the DRS. That's going to be MG power versus Honda power. If you're side by side now coming up into the first section, Hamilton then makes a move there on the Toyota. Missed McLaren there holding around the outside. Actually Carmen Jorda, that Hamilton just makes a move on this. So Jorda unfortunately didn't much hold around the outside, and see that Hamilton already pulling away from Komario Jorda. Of course Jorda on super soft tyres actually would have started the race on, so her tyres are going to be a lot more worn than what ours are as well as Hamilton's. So now we make a move to the inside there of Komario Jorda. That's going to be a complete drag race, completely just embarrassing the McLaren there, despite Morgan's best efforts and upgrades for this race. It really look like it's made a whole lot different there to the British team. And now as Jordan comes into the pits now for her first stop, and now we'll have DRS on the back now of Lewis Hamilton, but Hamilton just too far in front of us coming on this lap to try and make a move on the back there of our fellow Brit, and coming down into turn 1. We're just not quite close enough yet to Hamilton. Hamilton there actually on the soft tyre, so it's really need to make a move there on Lewis Hamilton sooner rather than later. And now Hamilton has now caught up to the back of the other McLaren, which will be Rio Haryanto there as the lead of the McLarens. So now coming up through the S section here, we just have to stick behind Rio Haryanto. Nothing we can do now, as actually a VSC is deployed and Daniel Ricciardo's out the Grand Prix. Once again, Ricciardo not having the best of luck here at Bahrain. I think he had an engine failure last last season. So what happened to Daniel Ricciardo this time? So he's following his teammate around turn 1. So Ricciardo doing pretty well there to keep with Nico Hülkenberg, got one of the Toro Rossos just behind as well. And then Ricciardo just pulls off to the right hand side and takes out the 150 board. So I can't see any smoke coming from his car, so unless he has some sort of gearbox issue, gearbox failure, maybe the lost drive or something like that. Now coming on to the end of the VSC, looks like Harrington actually managed to gain a bit of time there, because where the VSC ends, it's pretty touch and go as to whether it benefits you or hinders you. And it looks like it hindered Hamilton there quite a bit. But now coming on to the end of the straight, Hamilton makes a move there up the inside of Harrington and keep it side by side there with the McLaren. Now going to be side by side on the exit, but now Hamilton there just with the superior engine power. Now Harrington comes into the pits now for his first stop of the race. But now we're going to have DRS now on the back there of Lewis Hamilton. Now coming down into turn 1, Hamilton I think will still have DRS because he was behind Harriento in the detection point. Now coming down into turn 1, trying to make a move there. So yeah, very close once again there to the back of Lewis Hamilton. We're coming through turn 1, we're just not quite close enough there to make anything of it. So now trying to gain in the solution now, coming down this straight, coming up now into the end of the first sector. Now coming up and braking, Hamilton actually managed to pull away from us slightly, but we'll be gaining back there with the slipstream. Now we've got Sebastian BUEMI waiting just behind us, seeing the time we lost there behind both the McLarens of Jordan and Harriento. Really has allowed BUEMI to keep with us, and we've really not made the progress that we need on these super soft tyres. Hamilton really has honestly hindered our stint as well, because you see in qualifying obviously there wasn't much of a difference between the Williams and the Toyota, but it seems in the race pace it's actually got a lower pace, and now we'll go for he's going to move forward the inside there for Lewis Hamilton. Just leads the door up and you get amazing look there just to keep up the inside, no contact made. There's going to be side by side now with ourselves and Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton there in the solution just has to tuck in there behind us, and somehow he managed to make that move right there on Lewis Hamilton, so now we need to try and pull away from Lewis Hamilton. Try and put in some good laps now to try and build up our race and get our strategy back on track. Now coming onto the end though of lap 15, it's now time to come in for our final stop. I see that Hamilton is still right up behind us, so that second stint on the super soft tyres really hasn't worked. The pace just really wasn't there despite getting past Lewis Hamilton. Now coming into the pits for the final time, we're going on to a set of the medium tyres now to take us to the end of the Grand Prix, because I couldn't really, honestly I don't think I could have taken a set of the soft tyres to the end of the race. Now coming out of the pit lane, are we going to be near anyone? It doesn't look like anyone else coming down the pit lane. See, they've got one of the Red Bulls there coming down into turn 1, and it's like there's no one else coming down, so we're going to be a pretty lonely pit exit. Now coming out now into turn 1, should see what position we're in a second, and now we drop down now into P15. Got Harriento there behind us on another set of the super soft tyres. We've got Daniel Kvyat in front of us as well, so Kvyat really has dropped back in this race, so he must have some kind of issue despite Cosworth's best efforts and engine upgrades. Now cutting a bit further on, Daniel Kvyat is now coming into the pits for his final stop there, just behind one of the Renaults. So once again it's going to get personal here between Red Bull and between Renault. So now Kvyat going into pits and going to another set of soft tyres, so I imagine Kvyat's looking to go to the end of the race on that set of soft tyres. Well, can the Renault get a bit pissed up and get back out there in front of Daniel Kvyat? It looks like no, they can't. The Renault actually gets held there. So poor stop there from Renault, so that's actually cost Nico Hülkenberg there at the place, and Hülkenberg on the set of medium tyres. So Red Bull thinking they go to the end of the set of softs, I mean with a superior aero and chassis over the Renault, I mean why not try it? I mean you've got nothing to lose with Daniel Kvyat being down here in about P14, P15. Now Hülkenberg actually loses out 2 places there to one of the Saubers and one of the Toro Rossos as well, so that costly piss up there for Hülkenberg has cost him 2 places there to the Toro Rosso and to the Sauber in front, which I don't even know if that Sauber has to make another stop yet in this race, or if they've actually made a stop, because I think they're on a set of medium tyres, so they might not even have made a stop yet in this race. Now cutting a bit further on, taking a look at the full running order, and Jean-Eric Vergne once again leading the Grand Prix, looking to go make it possibly 3 wins out of 3 so far, with his teammate Sebastian Vettel in second. So once again a Ferrari 1-2, and then we actually have Pascal Wehrlein, is that in third? I think that's Wehrlein there third. So Alonso starting on pole, once again the Mercedes just doesn't have the race pace to honestly live with the 2 Ferraris. And now Alonso there will be gaining in switching on the back there off Pascal Wehrlein, but now is Alonso close enough to try and make a move coming down the finish straight? He's not close enough to try and make a move now into the final corner. See that he is gaining there on the back there of his teammate Pascal Wehrlein. But now with DRS, is Alonso close enough to try and make a move on the back of his German teammate coming down into turn 1? See that DRS wide open now. He's seen much he's gaining in the slipstream. He's gaining, but he's gaining enough coming down into turn 1. Pascal Wehrlein there doesn't defend inside, and Alonso just isn't close enough there to make the move. I don't think it's going to be too much longer until Alonso tries to make a move there on Pascal Wehrlein. Then we've got Max Verstappen pretty much in a no man's land position there in P5 on the soft tyres, just doing the best that he can there in the Red Bull. Then there's us in P6 there on the set of medium tyres, and we've got Hamilton there behind us on the set of softs. so it looks. And then we have our teammate Sebastian Buemi just behind there as well. And what tyres is Buemi on for this final stint? So Buemi actually on another set of medium tyres. So Buemi going super soft, medium, medium. Then we have the second of the Toyotas there, Esteban Ocon. And then we've got a three-way fight here between the Haas. One of the Toro Rossos actually Daniel Kvyat now trying to come back in this race as well. Now the Toro Rosso has to keep his side by third with Daniel Kvyat now coming through into turn 1. You keep it there on the inside, no we can't. It gets a poor exit, so that Toro Rosso just lost 2 positions there to one of the Haas's and to Daniel Kvyat. Then we have the second of the Toro Rossos there. Still got the sole surviving Renault of Nico Hulkenberg behind, gaining in the slipstream, now coming up into turn 3, just not close enough there to make a move. And then we have the second of the Haas's there. And then we have the lead of the McLarens, which is still Rui Haryanto, just pretty much in an absolute world of his own there. Then we actually have the lead of the Saubers as well, which actually Giovinazzi in this race. Once again, for the first time really, Giovinazzi trying to look to finish a race for the first time. Then they have Adrian Sutil. Then we have Carmen Jorda, unfortunately riding off the back row of the grid. Now coming midway through lap 22, we've now got Lewis Hamilton gaining on us. Of course, Hamilton there on the soft tyres, so despite anything that we can do, Hamilton will still be faster. Hopefully we can try to keep him behind, because towards the end of the race, our tyres will still be fresher. I mean, we'll have less wear, because the medium tyres are a lot more durable than the soft tyres, so hopefully we can just try and keep Hamilton behind us to try and keep this mediocre, honestly, P6 position given. Well, we won this race last season, albeit by luck, so we should have finished third in that race. This time you can see the Ferraris, Max Verstappen and the two Mercedes absolutely so far more dominant in the season. Now Hamilton gaining in the DRS. Now Hamilton makes a move there to the inside, just back into our slow stream. He's going to now pulls out once again. Alvaro trying to move coming out into turn 1. Going to try and keep it side by side there. Lewis Hamilton side by side, holding it around the outside line, which will then turn to the inside. We can just keep pushing a bit of contact there with Lewis Hamilton. And we get poor momentum there through turn 2. We both get pretty poor runs, so now we have the solution there on the back now of Lewis Hamilton coming into turn 3, trying to make a move back on the 2008 World Champion, trying to make a move there to side. Hamilton logs up, leaves the door open, keeps it side by side there with Lewis Hamilton, but Hamilton once again on the racing line and on the softer tyres gets the better traction out of the corner. But now try and keep with Hamilton there through S section, and maybe even try and make another diving move up the inside, try and make a move there around the outside using the curbing, using the full length of the track that we can. We see that Hamilton with the softer tyres just able to pull away from us, and now coming up and braking, trying to make a move there at the inside once again. We try and think about it. Move the car to the inside, but Hamilton positions his car well this time. Obviously he knows that we're going to try and make that move. But now with the DRS, you see Hamilton actually starting to pull away from us now, so it doesn't look like possibly we can try and make a move back to try and reclaim our 6th position. Now getting a bit further on from that, we have to try and defend from our teammates Sebastian Buemi, because me and Buemi are both on the same medium size, so it's going to be all fair between me and Buemi, no advantage either way. Buemi with the DRS now, in the slow machine, trying to move to turn 1, thinks about making a move there to our inside, and now once again, now he does finally make a move there to our inside, coming down into turn 1. We start with side, we'd actually outbrake Sebastian Buemi, they're going to try to hold it right around the outside there. Sebastian Buemi managed to make the move stick there, right around the outside, just outbraking our teammate. There's going to be Buemi there. We're getting in now in the slipstream on the back of us, now coming around into turn 3. Buemi going to try to make a move coming up the inside once again. No, isn't he? Sticks behind us once again. You see that Hamilton just pulling away now into this distance. Of course, the more me and Buemi fight, the more this is just going to give Hamilton the advantage there to pull away. See there, losing pretty much almost a second there through the first sector, trying to fight our teammate Sebastian Buemi. And now, hopefully, because we should still just about be in DRS range of Lewis Hamilton, I think. If not, we'll still be getting a slew stream there off the back of Hamilton regardless anyway, because he's still pretty much close enough to us. Thankfully Buemi there doesn't go for a dive up the side. I mean, he could have done, he still has made the move. Unfortunately we don't have DRS on the back of Hamilton, but we are pretty much just close enough still just about to get the slow stream there off the back of Lewis Hamilton. Now coming up through this left section, just need to try and gain as much time as possible. Sitting there with DRS. There's pretty much no defence unless we manage to outbrake Sebastian Buemi once again. We've seen us do it last time, so if Buemi can get a bit braver on the brakes, then he should really be able to make the move. We'll get a bit on the cabin there. If we're going to give us a poor run there out of the corner, Buemi will be gaining in our slipstream now coming down into the final corner. See how much Buemi is gaining in the slipstream with a bit of momentum as well of not running on the curbs through the second to last corner. But now coming around the final corner, we must get the best run that we can, but now have to try and defend once again from Sebastian Buemi now, with only a few laps left to go in this race, only 4 laps left to go. Now Buemi getting on the slipstream. See Sebastian Buemi ready to go side by side this once again. He forced Buemi there over to the inside. There's going to be side by side once again coming down into turn 1. Buemi with the inside line once again, try and hold it right around the outside. Looks like he managed to get the momentum there around the hill, but Buemi pinches us there to the apex. We get a pull around and Buemi forces his way up there up the inside. They're going to force Buemi there over to the inside, pretty much a Ricardo Alonso move there from 2011. Now keep it side by side there with Sebastian Buemi. Try and hold it around the outside. We're on the racing line to show you where the momentum. We just avoid wheel-to-wheel contact there. But I mean, that could have been very, very disastrous for both. There, we could have launched Buemi there off his back wheel, but Buemi there managed to make the move in front of us. But now we'll have the DRS to try and come back now. As Sebastian Buemi get very late on the brakes there once again, using the curbs, trying to maximise the corner entry, to try and keep as much momentum as we can. And I can try and make a diving move up the inside of Sebastian Buemi. No, once again, we're not close enough to try and make that move like we did on Hamilton earlier on in the race. And then we've got Esteban Ocon in the unupgraded Toyota behind us, so there shouldn't really be so much pressure from behind. You see now Sebastian Buemi is really pulling away from us. We're cutting onto the end of the final lap. Jean-Eric Verne rounds the final corner, is coming up to the finish line, and Jean-Eric Verne wins the Bahrain Grand Prix to make it 3 wins in a row for himself and the Scuderia. You see there, Sebastian Vettel coming home there in second to round off a Ferrari 1-2. Now coming back onto us, coming up now to the final corner. Sebastian Buemi has to get in front of us now. Daniel Kvyat on the soft tyres managed to recover back up there to P9. And Buemi didn't get too far in front, but it doesn't matter how far in front of us he is, because Buemi's still going to finish there. In P7 we have to settle for a rather mediocre P8, and pretty much just showing how much work Williams have to do if we're to challenge Red Bull and the other 2 top teams on a regular basis. You can see Arriva Bene looking honestly very happy once again. Now Ferrari, in the first 3 races of this season, have equalled the amount of wins that they took last season. Johnny Vone there taking his 6th career victory. So half of his career victories now have come in the first 3 races and come for Ferrari. And I imagine that Red Bull now are really regretting not re-signing Jean-Eric Verne there for another season. Taking a look at the race results, Jean-Eric Verne will take his 3rd victory in as many races, with his teammate Sebastian Vettel coming home in second to round off a Ferrari 1-2, with Fernando Alonso dropping down to 3rd after starting the pole position and finishing 13 seconds behind Jean-Eric Verne in the end. Alonso's teammate Pascal Wehrlein finishing 4th, with Max Verstappen rounding off the top 5 there for Red Bull, and Verstappen there only under 6 seconds behind Pascal Wehrlein in the end, so encouraging signs there, I'd imagine, for Red Bull and for Cosworth to be pretty much on the pace there of the Mercedes in a race that really favours engine power. Lewis Hamilton will come home in 6th in his upgraded Toyota, albeit 20 seconds further behind Max Verstappen, with Sebastian Buemi finishing where he started in 7th, 1 second clear of us, and we finish in 8th. Daniel Kvyat will recover up to 9th after his early race car issues, with Esteban Ocon rounding off the top 10 there in a second to Toyotas, but the unupgraded Toyota. And I imagine, seeing Hamilton finishing 6th, that the upgrades were pretty successful and they will be on Ocon's car for the next race. Robert Kubica finishes in 11th there in the Haas, with Carlos Sainz rounding off the point scorers there in 12th. Sainz's teammate Pierre Gasly finishes there in 13th, so once again Gasly finally gaining a representative race result, but still gets to score of points to finish this season. Nico Hulkenberg finishes there in 14th, 2 seconds behind Toro Rosso, with Lance Stroll dropping down to 15th after being in a high of P8 at the start of the race. Rio Hunter comes home in 16th as the last finisher on the lead lap, with the Giovinazzi finally managing to finish a race and beating Adrian Sutil at the first time they managed to actually finish. Carmen Jordan finishes there, unfortunately, as the last of the classified finishers, with Daniel Ricciardo the only DNF from this race. Moving on to the driver standings, Jean-Eric Verne leads on 60 points, with Pascal Wehrlein in second, 23 points behind. So after 3 races, Jean-Eric Verne is already a race victory clear of his nearest challenger Pascal Wehrlein. He's on 37 points. Fernando Alonso now moves up into 3rd, a further 10 points behind his teammate there on 27. Sebastian Vettel in 4th on 25. Daniel Kvyat drops down to 5th on 23, joint on points with us actually, but on better results with that 3rd place that Kvyat took at the previous race at China. Compared to our 4th, Daniel Kvyat is in 5th with us in 6th. Hamilton's there in 7th, only 3 points behind me and Daniel Kvyat, with Max Verstappen moving up into 8th, 4 points behind the 2008 World Champion. Robert Kubica drops down to 9th on 12 points, with Sebastian Buemi rounding off the top 10 there, also on 12, but once again on better result. Kubica is ahead there of Buemi. Esteban Ocon drops down to 11th there, also on 11 points, with Lance Stroll running off the top 12 on 5. Nico Hülkenberg there in 13th on 3, joint with Daniel Ricciardo is also on 3. With Carlos Sainz also on 3 points. With Carmen Jorda in 16th, rounding off the point scorers with that 1 point she scored at the season opener at Australia. Pierre Gasly now moves up into 17th with that 13th place finish, moving Adrian Sutter down to 18th with Rui Harianto 19th and Giovinazzi in 20th. Moving on to the constructors standings, Ferrari now have a 21 point lead over Mercedes on 85 points to Mercedes 64. Red Bull are in third, already 25 points behind Mercedes on 39 points, but only 4 points clear of Williams, who are on 35, and then Williams are only 2 points clear of Toyota in 5th on 33, so after 3 races, pretty even fight there between Red Bull, Williams and Toyota for 3rd in the constructors, with Haas there in 6th, some way behind already. Renault remain in 7th there on 6 points, with Toro Rosso in 8th on 3, McLaren in 9th with that 1 solitary point, and Sauber in 10th, still yet to score. My driver of the day for this race? Probably I'd have to say Lewis Hamilton as my driver of the day for this race. You've seen, despite the upgrades, I managed to make that move there on the Red Bull and keep ahead of me and BUEMI. I've seen from the first 2 races, the Williams does look to be just about a faster car than the Toyota, and we've seen how much of a difference it made with Ocon only finishing down in 10th, so quite some way behind Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, definitely Hamilton for my driver of the day. That's been the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the race, subscribe if you're new, comment down below, vote for your driver of the day as well with the poll link that will be in the description and in the comment section. It's the same one, so click either one of them, and check out the Wikia page for all the latest news and information on this season or anything about the previous seasons as well and what's to come up in the future. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.